My guides wanted me to start this video by saying that if you've arrived here, it's because you've taken some kind of quantum leap in your life. So I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling the cards. And we're going to be channeling more information about this massive shift that's taken place. I'm hearing timeline shift. So if you found this video, if you've connected with this video, it's because we are aligned with the same timeline. And the timeline that we are aligned with is one that has undergone, I'm hearing massive renovation, massive upgrades. And in fact, many of you who have found this video may have felt some type of major change or shift within yourself. I wouldn't just say within your life, but this shift may not yet fully be manifesting itself in your physical world. This may be something you're feeling energetically, spiritually within yourself. And immediately we have the Six of Pentacles as well as the Seven of Wands reversed. I feel that someone I'm tuning into here with this Seven of Wands reverse card may have chosen to give up isn't really the right word, to let go of something that their ego was holding on to for a really long time. And whatever this thing was or is, the ego didn't want to let it go because it felt that by letting go of this thing, it was admitting some kind of a defeat. This could be you letting go of a job that wasn't aligned with you, letting go of a friendship, of a love connection. It feels like whatever this thing was, the reason you had to let it go is because it was weighing you down. And with the Sun card in the upright position, your desire for freedom became stronger than your ego's desire for control. And take that as it resonates. The guides just gave it to me in that wording. But essentially, by the way, the number 19 might be connecting with someone, but with the Sun card, the affirmation on this card says, I shine my light on the world around me, and my radiance attracts more success. And a message that's been coming through really strongly lately has been, you can only give to others what you yourself are. You can only give to others what you've given to or allowed for yourself. And many people make the mistake of believing they can give love to others when they haven't learned to give love to themselves. Many people believe that they can give support to others when they aren't supporting themselves, that they can free others when they aren't giving themselves freedom. And in fact, at a societal level, we're trained into those limited ways of thinking. We are subconsciously programmed to believe that it is selfish to seek our own abundance, our own freedom, to connect fully with our own self-love. But part of what here on this channel as this collective and the larger awakening collective that we are a part of, what we are here to learn is how to break free of those chains, those inner subconscious limiting belief systems and programs that keep us trapped, that keep us stuck in fear, in lack mentality, in some form of imprisonment, because we tell ourselves that it's selfish to be loved or to be free or to be abundant. And the reason that my spirit guides are bringing this up right now is because for whoever I'm speaking to here, you've always held that Six of Pentacles energy. This is a very generous card. It's a very heart-open card. And I'm starting to tear up a little bit because when I read your energy, you are someone who has every reason to close their heart, and yet there your heart is still open, because I see someone just like with their hands outstretched and their eyes closed, and they're just beaming this love to people around them. But these arrows are being sent to them like attacks. You might be someone who has felt emotionally attacked in your life. You might be someone who has been hurt by people around you. That love that you've beamed out may not have been reciprocated to you in the past, and yet you have remained courageously heart open, in spite of the fact as well that I'm picking up other people in your past have seen your heart openness as a weakness instead of the beautiful gift that it is. But I see that this heart open energy, ironically, others think that this is weakness, this is naivety, but in truth, this heart openness is actually a force field of protection. It's as though you are so spiritually connected through your open heart that nothing can really touch you, even things that have been sent to you to attack you or to break you down. Again, everything that's been sent your way, you've mastered. You've become the alchemist of those shadows and transmuted them into beauty, into love, into light. But this hasn't been easy for you. And another thing I'm picking up here, with this in connection with the Seven of Wands card reverse we were talking about earlier, letting go. What to others might look like a giving up, but really this is a going within and fully allowing yourself to surrender the control the ego is trying to measure out, and to reconnect with the energy of what you really deserve, with love, with freedom, with abundance. For some reason, I just keep picking up that this choice you may have made or are in the process of making is something that people around you, or even your own inward judger, which we call the ego, may have labeled as selfish. And this is just being constantly reiterated that you came here to be selfish, meaning to be so full of yourself, so reconnected profoundly with yourself that you became a beacon illuminated with the kind of unconditional love energy that can only come from that kind of radical self-love that others label as selfishness. So wow, beautiful messages coming out for whoever you are connecting with this reading. As I always say, only take what resonates with you from these readings. But if these messages are connecting, I will be channeling in an extended version of this reading video through our Soul Tribe on Patreon. Some further messages reading into this really beautiful energy that's emanating from the Sun card, speaking to this quantum shift you've taken. So if you've been feeling that quantum shift in your bones, in your energy field, then you might also feel guided to the extended reading where we will be channeling more about what you may need to know moving forward into that very beautiful new beginning energy. And potentially what you need to know about this letting go happening within your life as well. So the link to the extended reading is in the pinned comment and description box under the video. But I keep feeling pulled to the Starseed Oracle deck. So bear with me as I shuffle and pull a card here. By the way, I usually say this at the beginning, but I was just getting so excited to jump into the messages tonight. So if you would like to receive specific messages from this reading, be sure to like the video and subscribe to this channel, because by liking and subscribing, these are forms of energetic transference and they allow me to pick up more easily on your energy. Okay, so let's pull for you from the Starseed Oracle. I heard very strongly for someone that you recently or are in process of making a choice that feels really heavy and really scary. And this could be playing into that thing, that person, that situation you're letting go. And those fears are lying to you, because the fears are telling you, what if you're on the wrong path? What if you're making the wrong move? What if this is a mistake? And your guides want you to know those fears aren't your intuition. The intuition is that whisper of excitement within you. It's that budding sense of freedom. It's that hope within you, that vision that is so grand and so apparently outlandish to others that it almost terrifies you a little bit, or rather, it's really terrifying to the ego. Those fears are not a sign you're on the wrong path. Those fears are echoes from the timeline that you've shifted out of. Because, and I don't know why I'm feeling so guided to talk about timeline shifts in this reading. Let me know if you're going through some type of a timeline shift in the comments. It just feels like you're going through something major, again, a major timeline shift, a major upgrade. And I've done videos on parallel reality shifting, timeline shifting, taking a quantum leap. These are all the same thing, different words to describe what happens when you do something that radically shifts your vibration in such a way that your trajectory moving out into the future, your entire lifescape, the landscape of your life reality transforms extremely fast. And I can't think of what movie exactly I'm thinking of, but it's kind of a cliche that in movies about time travel, sometimes when you'll travel through dimensions or through timelines, or you will time travel, the character in the movie will get really sick after traveling through time like this. And the guides want me to share with someone that you've shifted timelines so quickly that you might actually be experiencing some strange physical or emotional sensations. So emotionally, you might be feeling these fears, these doubts coming up. Physically, I'm picking up that some of you might be having a lot happening in either the solar plexus or the crown chakra. So how this could manifest through those energy centers is in the solar plexus. Someone I'm connecting with might be feeling nauseous. You might be having major appetite changes, like you're eating everything or you can't eat anything. You might be experiencing weight changes as a result of that. Through the crown chakra, this means that you might be feeling a little off kilter in a way that's hard to explain. Your ego might be latching onto that and getting really anxious about it. You might be feeling a little bit dizzy, a little lightheaded. And of course, always check first with a medical professional. I am not a doctor. So I'm speaking to those of you who have explored the medical causes potentially of these sensations, and you know they don't have a medical cause, in which case they could be energetically based. I don't know why, again, I'm feeling guided to share all of this. This must be relevant for someone who's listening. And the card from the Starseed Oracle is Activated Earth, Power Places, Ley Lines, Trust Where You're Led. And that sentence is being so emphasized that I need to reiterate it to really fully implant it within the depths of your subconscious mind. Trust where you're being led. Trust where you're being led, because I feel that for many people listening, you are being led intuitively in directions. I'm hearing almost sometimes not even just intuitively, but potentially forcefully as well, meaning that if you don't listen to your intuition the first time and you continue trying to go down a certain road that is disaligned with this radically new frequency you are embodying that's created this timeline shift, the universe will actually close off that road. It's like they put up signs and are like, no, that road is under construction now. You can't go down that road anymore. So yeah, sometimes this might be forceful. Of course, this is a metaphor, but you might find that your intuition kind of nudges you in a certain direction and your ego might question it at first. And so you don't listen to the nudges. Then over time, they become louder until you quite literally cannot go down those old roads. But there is still the fear there. There is still the doubt. There's still the questioning. Am I on the right path? And I feel your guides saying, whoever I'm connecting in with here, when you ask yourself, am I on the right path? Know that you're not only on the right path, you are on the only path, because Spirit is closing out all other possible options, timelines, possibilities, because of the work you've done on yourself, because of the way you've raised your vibration. It couldn't have happened any differently because it didn't happen differently. I don't know who needed to hear that, but I really feel someone's spirit guides wanting to get through to them with this message, because I'm sensing someone may have been reflecting back on the past course of a relationship, a series of choices, maybe a life path you took, a job path, and your ego might be taking you back down these old memory lanes and taking you back to these forks in the road and questioning you. Should you have taken the other fork in the road? Did you take the right path? And I feel your spirit guide saying this wasn't only the right choice or the right path. Truly, it was the only path, because you made your decisions for a reason. You're much more connected to your intuition than certain people around you, or even sometimes your own self, gives you credit for. With the card empathy coming out here, I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. This is really interesting. I'm going to pull some clarification. Okay, so we have the failure card. I feel that someone I'm tapping into here is intuitively, empathically absorbing someone else's sense of failure and taking responsibility for it. This is such a strange message and probably very hyper specific to someone listening. I know this won't be for everyone, but for someone here, there is someone connected to you who feels like they made a mistake, who feels like they failed. And you've shouldered the burden of this other person's sense of failure, instead of allowing the other person to shoulder that burden for themselves, to make those deep inner changes for themselves. And you've done this because you are such a highly sensitive and empathic person. I'm getting that for some of you, this might be a parent. So this could be that you have a parent who feels like they've failed at something in their life, who has a sense of regret about themselves or their life. And you've absorbed this as a child of this parent in the form of a sense of responsibility to fulfill your parents' wishes, hopes, or dreams, instead of allowing them the space to do that inner work for themselves, to find that inner fulfillment as you lead by example, For many of you, this may actually apply in a love situation. So there may be someone romantically who didn't treat you the way that you deserved, who made mistakes towards you or in your connection. And the guides are saying that because you're so empathic, you gave this person a lot of grace. I'm hearing you cut them a lot of slack because you knew that they were doing this because they were very unawakened. And also this person seems to be carrying a lot of energetic wounding, whoever I'm picking up on here, particularly in the lower chakra centers, affecting their sense of security, their ability to develop intimate, close bonds with others. This person might not actually have many people they feel close to in their life. And this feels like an inner child wound that they'd never healed. I'm getting a lot of masculine energy from this. So you could be a divine feminine and this could be a divine masculine who, again, because of that lower chakra wounding, may have made some type of mistake towards you. Or I'm hearing for some of you a series of mistakes. This wasn't just one transgression. You forgave them many times over, and this person continued in the same patterns because they weren't doing the inner work. And you continued to forgive them because you have such an empathic ability to see into the heart and soul of others. And you knew that beneath the wounding, this masculine has a very pure heart and a huge amount of spiritual potential because he's a very ancient soul. It's just that in this lifetime, he took on a lot of karmic patterning for the collective and for, I'm seeing, a family line as well for many of these masculines. And it's almost as though his soul had plans with you, but didn't expect the level of the degree to which this karmic patterning he took on as a soul to transmute. He didn't expect the degree to which this would actually weigh him down in this incarnation, affect him. And I see that whoever I'm channeling into here, this masculine became very stuck in these patterns and he feels a lot of regret. And yet I sense that this masculine does have the habit, energetically speaking, it's not even like conscious, it's very energetic. It's because the inner work hasn't been done yet. He's beginning to awaken, to begin to connect the dots as far as what's going on within him, but he's only really beginning to scratch the surface of this. And for your part, divine feminine, this has become really challenging because I feel you're already empathic, but with this person, because of your bond to them, whether it's spiritual, whether it's a soul tie, it feels that because of your bond, you actually absorb this person's energy, their sense of failure, their sense of regret, their pain to an even greater degree than most people in your life. And that is why you keep feeling this person pulling you back, almost like it's weighing you down. And yet you have a lot of love, a lot of admiration for them as well. Wow, very intense messages coming through for whoever that is connecting with, because I feel for some of you that's really resonating. I will be channeling in the extended more information about this masculine energy you are connecting to, who is pulling on your energy and who is experiencing a lot of feelings as though they failed or made mistakes toward you in the past of your connection. So we'll be channeling into this person's wounding, what's going on there energetically, what they're thinking and feeling in 3D, as well as what their higher self really wants to say to you and what's going on at that higher spiritual level. So the link to that extended reading is in the pinned comment and description box under the video. Okay, so now let's really shuffle deep into the cards and channel a bit more information about what you need to know at this time. This has been such a unique reading, so thank you to all of you who contributed your powerful energetic frequency to this reading. So here we have man holding a coin in the reverse position. I see this for whoever I'm connecting with here, representing a masculine to whom you're very connected, who may be opening the door to his own spiritual awakening, but who is still really carrying around a lot of that heavy, dense wounding. This could be, and most likely is, for many of you, the masculine who just came through in the reading. And we have a woman holding a heart in the upright position. I'm hearing stay centered, stay grounded, and take back your heart. Fully take back your power. When I say take back your power from this person, that just doesn't quite fit the energy. So often when we read these energies, it's hard to find the words to actually describe them. Many of you are highly, highly energetically sensitive, and you're familiar with this, whether you're channeling energy through words, through music, through art. You know how difficult it can be to really bring down the energy into physical form. But I'm feeling here that when I say take your power back from this masculine, I mean recenter yourself, recalibrate yourself, shift the focus back to where it belongs. Because sometimes the concept of taking your power back, it sounds like stealing. It sounds like something very forceful, something very aggressive. And in this case, it's not that at all. And in fact, with this person, what you'll find is whenever you get into that push energy where you're trying to chase them, you're trying to get them to see your worth or your value, you're trying to get them to love you or to express something to you or to meet your needs, you'll find that that push energy repels this person. But equally, whenever you pull back hard, whenever you, as we said, forcefully, aggressively try to take back your power from this person, when it has that undertone of anger or aggression to it, you might find that in the moment you're able to kind of forcefully reclaim some of your power. But then over the course of the next few days and weeks, you have a boomerang effect where as hard as you pulled back away from that person, you find yourself circling back to them. That's, I think, what I'm trying to explain here. It is so complicated to put this energy into words, but if you're experiencing this, I know you recognize what I'm talking about. And what Spirit wants to say is, don't see this as pushing or pulling away. See this as recalibration, recentering. Shift the focus to yourself. Shift the focus to your purpose, your passion, whatever that is for you, whatever lights you up, whatever you came to this planet to do. Shift your focus into peace, into self-love. And your choice to recalibrate your energy field in this way, even if to other people around you or to the physical form of this masculine, they might see this or judge this as selfish if they are very unawakened. Not every masculine I'm channeling here will feel this way, but if they're very unawakened, they may be triggered by you recentering yourself in this way. But what you'll find over time is this masculine will respond energetically in a mirrored way. They will begin recentering, recalibrating themselves. That door to their awakening will continue swinging open. But this hinges because, again, you and this person, I am telling you, you are so energetically connected, and it's probably driving you crazy at times because you are so connected that you feel everything from each other. And that is why the pushing and the pulling away doesn't work, because you're so connected that whether you're pushing towards them or you're pulling hard away from them, equally, it ends up boomeranging, if that's a word, you back into this energy of fear, desperation, anxiety. And that's why your guides are reframing this as a recalibration, a recentering on yourself, a shifting in your focus. So ironically, this is what actually heals this person. You are healing each other. I feel your meeting and your connection have spiritually activated one another. And now it's time for recalibration, for recentering, for healing, which your healing, just as your activation took place through each other, your healing and recalibration is taking place through each other as well. We have water your garden. So when it comes to this recentering and this recalibration, I keep hearing your guides say, remember that you're human too. You came here to be physical. You came here to be human. You came here to explore and adventure and travel and experience pleasure and experience love. And I'm getting kind of emotional because I feel that for someone I'm tapping into here, particularly a divine feminine, you may have felt that in order to be quote unquote spiritual enough, you had to sacrifice your humanity. You had to force yourself to remain in situations where you felt unreciprocated or unbalanced love in 3D. You thought that you had to give up some of your passions or hobbies because maybe you felt that they weren't spiritual enough, or they were too messy, or I'm hearing toxic positivity. So someone may have had people around them who had what we sometimes call toxic positivity, which is a form of spiritual bypassing where you're really trying to cover your wounding, your pain with this kind of superficial positive energy, instead of allowing yourself to feel that emotion and through feeling it, to heal it, to process it out. And what this can do is send us spinning into these, what we then call ruts, where we feel like we are kind of on these superficial highs, but then falling back into that depth of hurt and pain and stuck energy that seems to just loop on endlessly. And it's because someone I'm tapping into here, you haven't given yourself enough permission to allow yourself to be the beautiful, sometimes messy, sometimes chaotic, emotion-filled, emotion-fueled. I feel like something about your emotion actually fuels your passion, fuels your gifts. You haven't allowed yourself to experience the full range of emotions as a human, the full range of your own pleasure, your own material, physical enjoyment. I don't know who I'm speaking to here, but I just feel that it's time for someone to give themselves permission to balance spirituality with practicality, or balance the spiritual with the material, to really give to their physical body, to allow themselves to feel pleasure, to enjoy connection, to enjoy physical experience, and to know that that is what your spiritual awakening journey here on earth is about. If your journey was meant to look so glossy and perfect on the surface, you never would have incarnated here on earth, and you especially wouldn't have incarnated in a body that was carrying so much energy to be transmuted for your family, for your community, or for your collective. But you chose to do that. You chose to undergo this messy, chaotic, adventurous incarnation here on earth, because through all of that, through the feeling, you are healing. Through the experience, you are continuing to awaken spiritually as well. It's what it's all about. And I don't know who needed to hear that, but I really feel that someone's guides wanted to get that message through to them today. So in the extended version of the reading, of course, we will be channeling more deeply into the messages that have come through in this reading. We will be tapping more into your energy, what you're experiencing in the 3D, as well as at the higher self 5D level. We'll also be tapping into any external energies that may be connecting with you. I'm feeling already romantically there are one, possibly two energies that are connecting to you. The masculine that came out earlier is absolutely in play for many of you, but I'm also sensing a different, lighter, potentially lighter romantic energy for some of you as well. So again, all of that will be looked at in the extended Patreon reading linked in the pinned comment and description box under the video. I've been seeing a lot of the number 444 as well, so that might be connecting with some of you. But for now, I'm going to channel a message from the Rumi Oracle, and this card says, "Let love transform." So I'm just going to read a quick message from the card here. The spring of love arrives to transform the dust into a garden. The call is heard from the heavens to bid the wings of soul to fly. The sea becomes filled with pearls. The dry land receives the water of life. The stone becomes a ruby, and the body becomes all soul. Rumi. And the guidebook also says, this oracle comes to you as a living spiritual gift. Whether you realize it or not, you have triumphed. You have blossomed, succeeded, cast aside that which was unworthy, and taken up love's way. What did I tell you? You have gone through some massive energetic up-leveling recently. You really deserve your own admiration at this time for what you've been through, for how you've maintained such an open heart through all of that, and for these very radical positive shifts that have taken place within you. So again, we will be channeling more for you in the extended reading linked under this video, but otherwise I am going to be closing this reading here. I hope you will subscribe if I connected to you in some way. You can also feel free to let me know in the comments what resonated with you personally. You can follow me on Instagram at Magnetize Yourself. I am sending you so much love, wishing you a beautiful day, and I will talk to you again in the next video.